Going on, guys? 2015 F150. Got the boost gauge installed, Roush boost gauge. Kind of had some hiccups doing the wiring. I've actually had it in there for a week, but got that straightened out. So I'm going to do this install video or overview to make it real easy for you guys. So we'll start in the engine bay. It's the first thing you'll do. Real easy. Mine had a T right here, so you'll run your hose to that vacuum line. It goes right to the intake manifold. If yours doesn't have that, you're really looking for one of these vacuum lines that are behind the throttle body to tee it in. Fortunately, mine already had a T right there. It just had a cap, so I made it really easy running my vacuum line. A lot of people say they want to use different vacuum line than what's provided, but this is perfect. You don't need anything else. This is nice, good grade tubing. I threw a little zip tie on this just for to sleep better. You don't really need it. You get it on there far enough, it's going to be on there nice and tight. So you'll route it down here, and you got a grommet right there. That's where you're going to run your tubing in. You got a zip tie there and a zip tie on the inside. Just cut those, feed your tubing through nice and easy, and then put the zip ties back on there. So no cutting or anything. Real easy running that. And then we're done under the hood. Okay. So you'll run it under there. I don't need to show you that. You'll run it under there and to the coin holder location. You will have to do some modification to the coin holder. So it pulls out real easy. Just grab it, pull it out, and then you look on the back. The actual coin tray has tabs on it that you'll pull out. I used a Dremel. That's the only thing I would think that you can use for this. So if you don't got a Dremel, try to borrow one. You'll have to use the drill bit, the cutting bit in the Dremel to cut the actual tray off, and then you can use, on the box they provide a cardboard cutout for the hole here, so you can just overlay it, trace it with a marker, and then use the wheel for the Dremel to just get it nice and perfect there for your gauge. And what I did is once I slid my gauge in there, I got some epoxy, 2-part epoxy at Home Depot, $5, made by Loctite. It's 1 minute set time, whatever. Just run a little bit of epoxy around the back side of this gauge so it adheres to the coin holder tray there. That's all I did. I actually just be careful when you're dremeling that you don't get into the plastic out there. I actually had to do a little bit of Bondo work, and I just plasti dipped over everything because I kind of messed it up right here. Can't really tell. It looks fine. So a couple notes: be careful with that. Go nice and easy with your Dremel, and be mindful that this gauge face scratches really easy. I was just kind of frustrated, and I got little light scratches, but just be mindful where you put it. It does come with a little cover on it, so just keep that installed, or keep that on it during the install, and pull it off when you're completely done. So what's behind here, you'll have some wires on your coin holder, and unfortunately you can't use that power wire. You'll find, I believe, a black with a purple stripe or something like that for your ground. And then the purple wire back there, it is power, but the problem is that when your lights dim, or the auto dim feature, it cuts that power too much to power these LEDs, so it'll just turn off during the day and it'll turn on during the night. What was cool about it is if you do tie that in right there, you can have the dim feature, so it'll be white, and then a couple clicks when it gets dim, it'll just turn red. It's kind of bright, everybody's going to be different, so I thought it was a little too bright for me. I'm not going to go as far as tinting that, so there's a couple ways you can wire it up. I just got the power and the ground, the red wire, so it just illuminates red. It looks good to me. and it's not bright at all. So that's something exactly what I wanted. You know, got rid of the coin holder. I'm not really watching the boost gauge all the time, so I don't really want something bright in the corner of my eye all the time. So I just hooked up the power in the ground, and it illuminates red. The white was just a little bit too bright for me. So that's that. Now what you're wondering, where are you getting the power from? Alright, so instead of, I took my whole stereo apart, tried to find switched power everywhere, and just had no luck. So, you know, after looking around, a bunch of people say go to the fuse panel. Fuse panel inside there, the passenger side, and I was like, man, I gotta have something right here, but unfortunately no. So I tried a bunch of stuff and had no luck. So the fuse panel over there, here is a list for you guys that is hot and not. Hot meaning it's hot all the time, these are the numbers, and then not meaning these are all the switched ones. So you have your selection. I went with number 35, I believe. Number 35, it was a 5 amp fuse. The problem with that is they're micro fuses, and apparently no one knows what the hell a out of tap or out of circuit micro fuse is. Went to several locations, several places, Discount Auto, I called Napa, and no one had micro fuse out of circuit. So I went on Amazon and I found one, ordered it, waited and waited, got it, and it's a mini, not a micro. So be sending that back. It's not a micro. I don't even know if they make one, but anyways, you can do this without that. I just you know, wasted all my time there. Just ended up stripping a wire, you know, and twisting it really tight and sticking it in there. You can do it nice and neat and slide the fuse right over it, you know, to pinch it nice and tight. And then you'll route your wire up here. You know, you can pop this off and just route it to this your gauge here. So I'll show you here. So we got vacuum, and that's the red. You know, some people might not like it, but the white was a little too bright for me, and I'm not watching my boost all the time, like I said. So the red works out perfect to me. For me, you know, it just kind of stays out of the way and lets you focus on your instrument cluster up here. You know, even with the dimming feature, if you decide to hook it up the other way, you can dim these, you know, down all the way, and this will dim, but it's still a lot brighter, and then it just doesn't look right, this being so bright and those you know, being so dim. So there's the boost gauge. I'm not going to go for a test run. You guys can trust me that it does work. Hopefully this made the install real easy. You know, the only thing that pissed me off was the wiring, because I couldn't find, you know, where to tie it in. But long story short, save yourself some time and just run the wire to the fuse there, the fuse panel. Like I said, I used number 35, and I told you how I did it, so should have no issues. Any questions, hit me up. Thanks.